Ooh, what's going on, YouTube? It is early morning for me. Woo! Alright, so I wanted to kind of make a sit down, got my coffee, chilling out video. And obviously I haven't done my hair, nothing. But, so, real quick little backup story to the topic of this video. Me and my buddy Angel, who you guys have met, we went to a bodybuilding show this Saturday, so that was really fun. The first time I've ever gone. It was fun. It was very long. No joke. There were A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There were 7 classes for a novice women's figure. And so each class had anywhere from 8 to 10 girls in it. So that's at least 70, like anywhere from 60 to 70 girls for one class. Now I think there was like 5 or 6 classes all together between the men and the women. So if that long stretch wasn't there, it would have been a phenomenal epic time. But it was there. But so it was held at a casino. Me and Angel went. It was a good like hour-and-a-half drive. And it was a good time. We had fun. We played some slots. He won some money. I won some money. Well, I broke even. Let's keep it at that. I broke even. But hey, I'm not going to complain. I think I spent like $60 and I came home with like $57.40 something cents. So it was good. But we had a lot of great conversation in the car. And so this is what I wrote down as far as like the topic of what we talked about. I want to I'm going to say it and then I'm going to kind of try to go off of this. Okay, so why creating a trans man community was important to not allowing society to determine my masculinity. So this kind of came up because Angel's, 2 years in his transition or so, and he's reaching out trying to find community. And so I was just saying why, like, how when I started my YouTube channel, I wanted community too. And I knew that, like, if I didn't find community, that, like, I just knew that if I found community, I would be backed up in the new kind of man I wanted to be. I would feel more comfortable knowing that my masculinity is not determined by all these other things that society tells us that our masculinity is determined by. And so I thought it was a good conversation and little topic to just kind of bring up and kind of like make you think about, because it just reminded me that, like, if I had no figure of what a man should be, and I don't want to say just drastically, like, I think that I don't think this to this extreme, but like, if you don't have a good representation of what masculinity is, or if the men in your life, or the people that you watch on TV, or whatever the case, whatever the masculinity is represented to in your life, if they're like not a positive one, it's so much more likely for you to kind of fall into place and kind of just take on whatever is being shown to you, right? For example, when little boys grow up, they act a lot like their fathers when they're older, right? Or when little girls grow up, they act a lot like their mother, right? Or vice versa, right? The little boys act like the mother, whatever. But the point is that, like, you learn subconsciously by who you're around and what you're exposing yourself to. And so society and the media exposes us trans men to just like every beautiful image you could ever think of a man. They're always rich, they always have multiple partners, and like they're always hot shit and nice cars, right? And just like putting all those materialistic things in as to what masculinity is, and kind of, I feel like you could easily forget that you were like raised a female, and that a lot of the men, not a lot, but some of the men parading around these days are not very nice to women and say really nasty things, and how finding a trans community, or really just finding a community of men who don't see masculinity in this way, is so important, because it's really hard to try to like be this new kind of man. It's so easy for us as trans men to just be lumped into the sum of all the other men, and for people to forget that, like, I grew up as a female. I mean, I was a young adult. I mean, I was 21 or 22 when I transitioned. So I was well raised through, you know, high school, a little bit of college as a female. And so, you know, we were just kind of talking and going back and forth about how we felt like, you know, we were lucky and grateful that we have a community, and that even if like one person, if you have one other person you can relate to, right? And just kind of how, like, again, like the back end of this topic, like not allowing society to determine my masculinity. Like, again, we refused to let magazines and music videos and songs on the radio like tell us what it is to be a man. Like, we know what it is to be a man. It's just a feeling inside. It's just something you know, okay? And like, what's it like to be a good person, okay, is the same thing as what it's like to be a good man or a good woman, okay? And it's just that concept of like, if we didn't actively, consciously go looking for men and other trans men who could be positive influences on our birth or rebirth into manhood, you know, we don't, it's hard because like we feel like society would have told us something a little different, okay? It would have let us know that some things are a little different, you know, and we don't need society to tell us what clothes are masculine and which are not. We don't need society to tell us what sports we should be playing and what, you know, songs we should or shouldn't be singing. And you know what I mean? The fact that, like, you know, you sing like all the single ladies at the club and people are like, oh, what do you like, don't go that hard on that song, it's not very masculine of you. It's like, we don't need people to tell us what our masculinity is or is not. And so you know, it was just cool to kind of have that conversation and just discuss about like the gratefulness, I guess, you know, we have for finding community, and just that the effort it took to find community. I mean, again, like we at one point in our transition felt really lonely, and we're looking towards, you know, looking for community, and you know, sometimes we found it in the masculine world, the cis male world, and it just wasn't cool. Like, it made us, you know, like they weren't cool. And then we found other men and other trans men who were cool and shared our beliefs in masculinity and wanting to be a new kind of man. And that was kind of, you know, really, we were really grateful for that. You know, we have each other and we're making new friends. And, you know, I have so many, my hands are stuck. Oh my gosh. Woo. We have so many, like, I have so many friends online and so many types of friends, and it's so magical. And, you know, it was just nice to have the conversation that, like, I'm not the only one who thinks that, like, a lot of what's being portrayed as masculinity just is a bunch of bull. And, you know, masculinity comes from inside. It's not about what you're wearing or what you're not wearing or what color you're wearing or what music you're listening to or what sport you're playing or, you know, whatever you want to think that it is. So yeah, you know, I thought it was a good conversation. Maybe you could think about it. I don't know, maybe you guys can see the people, maybe if you look at some of the trans men who are stealth, you know, they really, I don't want to say that I feel bad for stealth people, because I know some people who are very happy being stealth, okay? Completely happy. But I also know some people who could really benefit from having a transgender friend or two who they can feel like they can relate to, because I do think that sometimes, you know, you try to fit in and you try not to be hurt, like seen, and then sometimes you look in the mirror after trying not to be seen for so long, you look in the mirror and you're like, where did I go? Like, I can't even find myself. And I think, I don't want, you know, I feel for those brothers. I don't want them to feel that way. I want them to know that if you can be stealth, that's okay, but you can also still be, you know, proud of your being transgender. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was pretty much it. I didn't want to make this video too long. Little morning ramblings with myself. But leave your comment below. I'm curious to know what you guys think. I'm curious to know if you feel like also that, like, society definitely tries to preach us a different kind of masculinity than we're trying, you know, the new man. I like to call it, is trying to come in with, you know, like trans men are like a new kind of man. I mean, we've lived an experience that cis men in the world today haven't experienced, and I think that's valuable. You know, I think that's definitely valuable. You know, there's everybody has a value for sure, but I do think that that's one thing that trans men have a good value of, is just that kind of life of two lives. You know what I mean? So, and trans women too. You know, trans women too. So, all right, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, it definitely helps me out, gets these videos showed up a little bit more on these suggestions. And also, please comment below. I'm really curious what you guys think. I don't usually have answers to these types of videos, but I like to spark conversation. First of all, I don't really have answers for a lot of things, okay? I have like ideas and suggestions, but I don't really have answers for a lot of things, and I'm more of just a conversationer. I'd rather just have a conversation about it, and like, because my mind can be open, your mind can be open, both of our minds can be open. It's really cool, and that's how we get change occurring internally, is when we have conversations that spark ideas, and we can agree or disagree, you know, and we don't have to hate each other if we disagree either. So, alright guys, thanks for all the love and support, and I'll catch you in the next video. Oh, tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll be giving away a free binder, so make sure you pay attention to that video. Alright guys, catch you in the next one. Peace!